The Lakers were viewed as one of the most formidable and league top title contenders heading into the season, but they've fallen far, far from that perch as the season unfolded, and their recent humiliating elimination from the playoffs reflects that. To say it was all a letdown would be a massive understatement. But how far have they slipped out of contention exactly? Let's take a look at some of the drawbacks that show a bleak image for the Lakers in the future ahead. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. First up, LeBron James and the team are past their prime. It's no secret that age plays a huge role in an athlete's career. You can't expect a 30-plus-year-old player to perform the same as someone in their prime. And that's exactly what has been a massive disadvantage for the Lakers. The team is old, and they're not ready to admit it. LeBron James is doing incredible at the age of 37, and he deserves a lot of credit for it. The King is averaging 25.9 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, 6.8 assists per game, while shooting 50.1% from the field. These are epic stats for a player who has faced so much pressure throughout his career, whether on or off the court. However, turning 37 is a warning that James, if he hasn't already, will begin to show flaws in his game. And that was clearly visible when recently on the offensive end, he took on far too much. He would have played nearly 70 games this season if it wasn't for the injury, and he was a legit weapon, even if he was injured. But he's old, and he can't accommodate his team as much as they'd like him to. With an older LeBron James on the roster, the Lakers no longer have a constant bailout option as they did in prior seasons. Rather, the club must occasionally bail out LeBron because it is only fair given what the King has been through during his great career. Even if James is the best all-around player on the squad, he can't consistently perform at an MVP level like Anthony Davis or Russell Westbrook. Unfortunately for LeBron, his supporting cast is likewise getting on in years. Carmelo Anthony is 37 years old, Dwight Howard is 36, DeAndre Jordan is 33, and Russell Westbrook is 33. Simply put, the Lakers cannot rely on any of their rotation players since their main players are pretty much past their primes. Shooters like Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, and Kent Bazemore aren't getting any younger either. A squad with an older LeBron and an older team is clearly not going to be a very successful championship team. The Lakers have done themselves no favors by bringing in a large number of seasoned veterans and a small number of younger players. Even with a full offseason to relax, heal, and mingle with one another, the Lakers lost another championship run. Next, the competition is tougher. The league's competition is fierce right now, with numerous teams contending for the championship in each conference. All of the greatest NBA teams have shown enough consistency on the floor over the course and have a deep pool of talent at the moment. The Milwaukee Bucks, the reigning NBA champions, are loaded with talent, led by two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is only 26 years old. With his stature and all-around skills, the Greek Freak is an unstoppable player, and he has plenty of help. Chris Middleton is the ideal Giannis sidekick because he shoots the three well and defends above average level. Not to forget, Middleton is a clutch player who proved it loads of times during last season's playoff run. Jrue Holiday is an above-average two-way player who rounds out Milwaukee's powerful big three. Even the Miami Heat are a better team than the Lakers because they have a top 10 player in Jimmy Butler and a strong supporting cast that includes Bam Adebayo and Taylor Hero. Miami, which has a championship-level head coach in Eric Spoelstra, is also a dark horse for the NBA Finals like they were in 2020. The Chicago Bulls have two MVP candidates and a slew of hard-nosed former Lakers such as Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso who feel they can beat the Lakers in any series. It's the same thing in the West. The Phoenix Suns and Golden State Warriors, who were neck to neck for the #1 seed in the West, with Phoenix taking it home, are undoubtedly the league's two best teams. The Suns are predicted to win the season finale, and their core of Chris Paul and Devin Booker is back at full strength, defeating the Lakers, a 121-110. Similarly, with Klay Thompson, the Warriors will be a force on both sides of the court, outperforming the Lakers. The Jazz lack superstars, yet no one can deny that they play superior defense than Los Angeles. There's plenty of young talent that's incredibly skillful with the game, which the Lakers can't seem to get around and compete with, and the recent consecutive losses are proof of that. Up next, the Russell Westbrook Experiment. Not only that, the Lakers' experiment with Russell Westbrook seems to have backfired, and his reputation as an individual standout who has no impact on team success has suffered as a result of this season. Russell has averaged 18.4 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7.1 assists in 77 games this season, while shooting 31.4% from 3 and 65.9% from the free throw line. The Lakers' experiment with Westbrook has been a flop since he is an erratic shooter who does not fit in with James and Davis. While his numbers aren't horrible on paper, the fact that the Lakers chose Westbrook over other players like DeMar DeRozan or Buddy Hield makes this much worse. Westbrook is unpredictable, and he always plays the game his way. Because he's getting older and gambles too much, he provides little to no defense. With the addition of Westbrook and the loss of Alex Caruso, the Lakers have taken a significant hit on defense, an area in which the team has struggled this season. Even though Westbrook is a former MVP and one of the greatest 75 players in NBA history, he was never the ideal fit for the Lakers. The Lakers have set themselves up for disaster by assembling a team around 3 superstars who do not mesh well. Next, Anthony Davis is always injured. Even with a slew of factors going against the Lakers on the court, Anthony Davis's inability to stay healthy is one of the major reasons the Lakers will not win the NBA title. Man is always sick. Davis has spent 10 seasons with the New Orleans Pelicans and Los Angeles Lakers. In 601 regular season games, he averaged 23.8 points, 10.2 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, and 2.3 assists. He's appeared in 8 All-Star games and won 1 NBA championship. His numbers are solid, as they always are, but his effect has been lacking. It's possible that the big man is afraid of getting hurt again after his injury ended the Lakers' title hopes earlier too. Davis has missed 30% of the Lakers' games since joining the franchise. The big man is at the heart of everything the Lakers do on the court, and LeBron James trusts Davis to be the team's primary scorer, rebounder, and defender. With Davis out, an erratic Westbrook and an aging LeBron James won't be enough. There are several reasons why the Lakers will not win any title in the near future, including stiff competition and a lack of young talent. But Anthony Davis's inability to play at an elite level while fit is the most concerning. As most of the franchise trusts in the star big man's talent and impact, he can't seem to shake his injury woes. What the Lakers need to understand is that they can't just pile on big names and trust that their star power will overcome an unfit team. James is ineffective when paired with a point guard who can't shoot or defend. He and Davis can't sustain a squad of 10 minimum wage players. The plan as a whole must be rewritten. Next, the team no longer has the same zeal. The most frustrating aspect of the phony comebacks is not their eventual failure, but rather the fact that they lack the intensity to be taken seriously in the first place. Instead of entering the fourth quarter with a lead to defend, as they did frequently during their championship run, the Lakers increasingly found themselves on the wrong end of a blowout with plenty of time to spare before the final buzzer. The team was evidently lacking effort and the zeal it takes to compete on such a level. With James's ankle injury, the team looked in even worse shape than it previously did and clearly seemed to have given up on themselves. Ultimately, the squad was unable to pull it off, falling to Phoenix despite Russell Westbrook's 28 points on 10 of 20 shooting and Anthony Davis's double-double. The Lakers needed to be humiliated. They needed this season to conclude in such an embarrassing way that the franchise's power brokers could no longer deny how awful things had gotten. Any idea that they could maintain the same carefree attitude that influenced their trade deadline into the summer needed to be dispelled right away. There is no forward motion here. There are no positive on which to build. There is a fundamentally broken team that requires immediate and decisive action from the team heads in order to be repaired. If the Lakers don't fix these issues, it's very likely that the team will never see another major title win again. See you in the next one.